Hi, my name is Melissa Grzybowski, founder of Food Label Insiders and president of Food Consulting Company. Welcome to my brand new video workshop, Flavor Labeling Rules in U.S. Product Naming. In this first video, you're going to discover how to create labels with flavor qualifiers. This is going to immediately help you understand regulations and requirements for food labels when flavors are ingredients, especially if those flavors are called out on the package. Once you get this down, creating compliant labels will be faster and easier than before. So if you're new to food labeling and regulatory compliance and don't realize there are specific rules for flavors, or if you're an experienced food label professional who gets stuck on some of these nuances, stay with me because you're going to discover how food labelers like you and me can get clear on flavor naming. The goal of this workshop is simple: to help you more easily navigate the regulations and the CFR and allow you to experience less stress and greater efficiency in your work. Are you ready to make this happen? Before we dig in, I've got to warn you about something critically important. Right now, you might think you have to know everything there is to know about food labeling and regulations. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if instead you had access to resources and advisors to help you? I'm sure you'll agree that trying to navigate regulations in food labeling isn't simple, and it comes with its challenges. Like maybe you've misused the term flavored when you should have used with other natural flavors, or maybe you weren't clear on what a strawberry type flavor means and how it needs to be labeled. Who do you ask when you're an independent labeling consultant or the only regulatory specialist at a small company? In this video, I'm going to demystify the process of flavor labeling, which will save you a lot of time and frustration. I'm also going to share the quick one-pager on this topic that we developed at Food Consulting Company. It's called U.S. Product Naming Flavor Qualifiers. We developed this one-pager because many food label professionals voice frustration while trying to determine flavor regulatory language. And the purpose is to help you quickly access labeling tips so you can understand these flavor labeling rules. It's available to you to provide even more value from this training. You'll see the download link at the end of the video. As we go through the labeling process, please note any questions or comments you have. You ready? Let's get started. Flavor labeling rules are primarily written in 21 CFR 101.2. And I've developed a series of slides here to talk through some of the different examples of flavored regulatory copy and what to do in each. So on the left side of the screen, you'll find the ingredients that are added. And then on the right side is a mock label of my best baking company and how the flavor qualifiers need to be used in the name. So the first example is simple. If you're making a strawberry cake and you use real strawberry ingredients in the recipe and no flavor ingredients are added, then the product name can easily reflect that as strawberry cake. On the next slide, we have a characterizing amount of real strawberry ingredient added. And then there's also some strawberry natural flavor added. And this means that there's enough real strawberry added to give the cake a strawberry flavor. And that natural flavor is just added to kind of round out the flavor or give it a little bit of a different strawberry flavor, different notes of strawberry. And so the way I treat this is if you were to not add natural strawberry flavor at all, would you still be able to taste strawberry and determine that it was a strawberry cake? And so if that's the case, then you wouldn't need to use flavored in the regulatory copy, and the label could say strawberry cake. This next example is when there's other natural flavors added that aren't directly related to the strawberry or the flavor that's indicated on the label. So for example, often baked products have a vanilla extract added, and the vanilla extract isn't necessarily impacting the strawberry flavor. Instead, it's used to just give a general nice cake flavor. And so when that is the case, you wouldn't be required to indicate flavored regulatory copy in the name, and strawberry cake would still be appropriate if that characterizing amount of strawberry ingredient has been added. In this example, strawberry flavored would be required, and this would be the case when only natural flavor is added to your cake. There's no strawberry ingredients. There's no real strawberry ingredients. Instead, just natural flavor derived from strawberry is added. And so that would be reflected in the name by using strawberry flavored cake. Now, the regulatory copy is required immediately adjacent to the flavor name, and the type size needs to be at least half the size of the flavor name. And those requirements need to be met wherever strawberry is mentioned on the package. So keep that in mind if you use back panel or side panel product naming, that flavored regulatory copy has to live there as well. The next example is when natural flavor is added and then there's not enough of that real strawberry ingredient added to independently characterize the flavor. So if you were using a little bit of strawberry puree and it helped give the cake kind of a pink color that you were going for, but it doesn't really impact flavor, then in a case like that, you'd want to declare the flavored nature in the product name. So strawberry flavored cake would be required in this example. With other natural flavors is also shortened to WANF. You might hear it referred to by the acronym WANF. And in this case, there are natural flavors added that are derived from strawberry and other ingredients. And so you may get a more complex flavor profile from your flavor supplier that has flavors from strawberry or maybe from other fruits that really round out that flavor. And so those would need to be designated on the label by this type of regulatory copy, flavored with other natural flavors. And that would be the case if there was not enough strawberry to independently characterize the flavor as well. So if those WANF flavors were added, there was also a little bit of strawberry, you'd still need to designate that in the product identity next to the flavor callouts. Artificial flavors, whenever artificial flavors are added, those need to be called out on the packaging. And usually it's pretty simple. Anytime it's added, it needs to be declared. And so in this case, if just artificial strawberry flavor is added, that would need to be represented in the product identity. In this next case, if any amount of strawberries is added and artificial strawberry flavor, you would also need to identify that in the product name, regardless of the amount of strawberries. So this isn't the same as the natural flavor example. If you're using artificial flavors, they really need to be called out. There is a kind of a unique situation where natural flavors need to be called out as artificial flavors in the product identity. And an example of that would be if you're using a natural flavor that's not derived from strawberry, and that's the only, and there's no naturally derived strawberry flavor, and you decide to call the product a strawberry cake, but there's no strawberry ingredient or strawberry derived flavor within that product, then you'd actually have to call it an artificially flavored strawberry cake. And this would definitely be a disconnect from what your ingredient statement would say to what your product name would be, because technically, if it's a natural flavor and meets the definition for a natural flavor, it can be called that in your ingredient statement. However, the front of your package would say artificially flavored. So something to keep in mind when you're going through the product development process to say, our end product, we want to be able to call a strawberry cake. So what does that mean for the flavor ingredients that we're getting? Naturally and artificially flavored regulatory copy is not something that's specifically defined by FDA and the CFR. It's something that has just sort of been used in the industry, and FDA has not said that they have any issues or concerns with it. And I think if it's truthful and not misleading, then it would be an accurate representation on your label. And so in this instance, if you have both a natural and an artificial strawberry flavor added, then you could use both of that language on your label. Technically, artificial flavor would be the only thing required. However, if you include both, I think it's truthful and not misleading and would be just fine to do. That would be the case with any amount of strawberries, because that artificial flavor automatically bumps you into needing to declare that in your flavor naming. And so as promised, this is the one pager on product naming flavor qualifiers. The one other thing I'll mention is that there are some type flavors, which often mean that if it's a strawberry type flavor, it means that it's one of those flavors that is not derived from strawberry, but it's actually derived from a different fruit ingredient, but gives those strawberry flavors. So that's always a good idea to have some open dialogue between your flavor supplier and your product developers and determining what flavor profile you're wanting to get at, and then how that can be reflected later on your product name of your package. So now you're clear about how to create labels with flavor qualifiers. You know what to do if foods contain both the real ingredient and the flavoring, what to do if flavor is included in the product name or graphics, and where this copy must be included in packaging. The next topic we'll cover in video 2 is carbohydrate claims. With keto and low carb diets still popular, this is an important and timely topic for food label professionals. If you aren't clear on regulations related to carb related claims, then you won't be able to create accurate labels and create unnecessary risk for your product labels. If you're new to food labels and regulatory compliance, video 2 will serve as the foundation so you can see how to begin to navigate carb claims on labels. If you're an experienced food label professional, then you'll be able to quickly put this into practice. I'm also going to introduce you to our quick one-pager on carb claims and provide you a PDF that you can download and use as an ongoing reference and tool. Once you know exactly what to do, you'll see it's easy to navigate carbohydrate claims and reduce your risk. I'll show you how in the next video. Before we go today, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me, what questions do you have about flavor qualifiers? What labels give you the greatest challenge? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to read everyone and I'll respond to as many as I can. And if you found this video useful, please share it with your friends and colleagues. I can't wait to see you in the next video.